The City Council meeting scheduled for 5 p.m. August 8th will now come to order. Roll call.
Councillor Hogue.
Here.
Councillor Koivunen.
Here.
Councillor Willis.
Here.
Councillor Hadrava.
Here.
Mayor Baisalovich.
Here. Approval of the City Council meeting minutes, July 11th, 2017. Will now, anybody have any questions or changes? If not, call for a motion that we approve those minutes. So moved. Motion made by Koivunen. Do I have a support? Support. Support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item D, approval of tonight's agenda. I think we're going to add item 13, which concerns some water services on the Jackson Street project per our Public Works Director. Anybody else have any changes to the agenda? If not, I'll ask for a motion that we approve tonight's agenda with that change. So
Support.
Joe, did you make that motion?
Yes.
Motion made by Koivunen, support by Hadrava. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have no appointments or presentations at this time. Move on to the consent agenda. Approval of payroll, July 1st through the 15th and July 16th to the 31st. Approval of claims. Request for Joe Hall and Pat Ziegler to attend the annual water and wastewater certification refresher and exam conference in St. Cloud and accept the 2016 annual audit report.
So moved. Support.
Motion made by Hogue to accept the consent agenda, support by Hadrava. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Since we have no public hearings at this time and no unfinished business, we'll move on to new business. Item number 1, report and recommendation from the Planning Commission on home occupation permit application of Brad Montague of A4J Trust to conduct business activities associated with We Help You Heal Naturally. And I would like to thank the Planning Commission for the time and the effort they put in for these hearings and to organize this. When I read all the reports and the information, which was pretty detailed and accurate, I had one issue that bothers me with that location close to the school. The schools are kind of a sacred area to me in this town, and the students who go there, and that is kind of a choke point. You're 30 feet from one of the most busiest activities, athletic and a playground, and it bothers me to see traffic increase with a bunch of unattended drivers looking for a destination and not paying attention. I've lived in this town my whole life, and I know that's not a very safe area. The city should have probably blocked that street off years ago, but they didn't. And in winter, it's worse. You got the snowbanks, it's narrow, and I don't want to be responsible for allowing something to happen that some little kid gets run over. I don't want to be put in a position of explaining that. And I think the extra traffic in that area is a major concern in my estimation from a safety standpoint. And I don't know what the rest of the councils.
Mayor, I agree with you wholeheartedly. We have first of all, would like to thank the Planning Commission for the due diligence and fine report that they put together for the council's perusal. Appreciate all the hard work. But with that said, after having read the testimony of several residents that were in attendance at that meeting and listening to some of the reasons why the neighborhood just does not want a business of that type in the neighborhood, I have to concur that we would have a public safety issue in that particular neighborhood if we're to allow that permit. Additionally, I think that the ordinance that allows home occupation use makes reference to infringing upon the residential character of the neighborhood and the rights of others. And I clearly believe by the testimony of the neighbors at that particular meeting that it would be an infringement upon their rights as well. So that would be my viewpoint, Mayor.
And I also I've read everything and I looked, I drove up there 3-4 times and I concur with you two gentlemen about being a safety hazard. And I read all the neighbors, what they had to say, and I can't see putting one in there. And thanks for all the work that the Planning and Zoning Committee did on this. You know, as usual, you just do a great job. It's just, on this one, I have to go with these gentlemen because I don't believe there should be a business there. And if by chance this is not gonna go through, maybe you can work with us so we can get you downtown somewhere.
Brad, do you have anything to add? Or?
Well, as a past employee of the Eveleth Gilbert Schools, I can tell you I do know how serious the transportation problems are in that area. And I also agree with everybody here that we cannot at this time allow this to go through. I apologize to Brad and his company. I hope they find a place in Eveleth and I hope it works out well for him. Again, Tony, your commission did a fantastic job, looked at all the ins and outs and gave it straight to us. But at this time, in my opinion, the residents don't want it. I don't think, my opinion is the school wouldn't want it. And so I'm going to say I'm with that, no, at this time.
Brian, you have anything to add, or?
No, I don't.
I think
I'm
there's
indifferent right now, so.
I think there's a lot of places that are more conducive with a business, and I'm talking about a business. I'm not here to discuss the merits of any kind, but when you get to the schools, that's kind of a touchy issue with me, the proximity to that, and that's a really a lousy spot when you look at the streets around the school. That is the narrowest. It's got curbs, and there's a lot of activities that go on there. And believe me, you've got to be very alert if there's a football game or something. Then throw a few more cars in the mix with people who aren't familiar. Most of the people around here know what to expect, but you're going to put somebody who's not familiar in that position of hitting somebody with a car. And I think the exposure is too great. So over the public safety reasons, I'm going to call for motion that we deny the permit at this time.
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Lillis, support by Hadrava. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I just wanted to abstain from the vote because I wanted more information. Can I do that? I didn't want to vote on this just because I wanted more.
You're abstaining?
Yeah.
Okay. One abstention. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, you abstain? Motion carried. Item number 2. Pay request from Joel and Sop Excavating the amount of $20,367 for 2017 sanitary sewer improvement projects. Anybody got any questions on that? Looks like he's plugging right along on Jackson Street.
He's moving up.
Couple rain days, but he's moving along.
He says, I don't think there's many people that know the streets better than them guys.
No,
They do a lot of work for the city.
I'll make the motion with Pam.
Motion made by Hadrava, do I have a support?
Support.
Support by Hoag, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Pay request number 2 from Utility Systems of America. The amount of $51,959.77, and that's got to be for the West Eveleth project. And Jerry, how are we going with that? We getting close to ribbon cutting there yet?
Yep, I was out there today, and from what they said, they're kind of waiting on the pavement now. So we're waiting for Masabi bit to come out there and put the
okay.
wear course down first. And hopefully, that could be by the end of the week, starting next week. You know, nothing can be for sure, but that's what we're hoping. And then they'll get to the alleys that we did in town too at the same time. Hopefully, we can start paving soon.
Maybe you can kind of tell them you're under the pressure from the residents to Especially
Well,
on the
I
alleys.
have. I know that. We are pushing.
Any further discussion? We have a motion that we pay utility systems. Do we have a motion on the floor?
I will
So-
make the motion.
And I'll support that.
Motion made by Hadrava, support by Coivinon. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 4, pay request number 1 from Joel and Sop Excavating, the amount of $41,461.42 for 2017 alley improvements.
We have a lot of work going on. I will so move on that.
Make the motion, Joe, that we pay Joel and
Yes.
Sop. Do you have support?
Support.
Support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. You know, then we got this other work, then when they came in with that seal coat, they're really,
Oh, yeah.
man, those guys just come in and have at it. I don't think we were ready for that one.
No.
Let's see
It
here.
looks nice.
I've got pay request number 1 from 3D Concrete and Construction for 2017 curb and sidewalk replacement. I've got another one here, Jerry, you handed out too. Is that,
That was for the Hippodrome.
Oh,
Just wanted to
Yeah,
see
this one's for the
the
handicap
end
rail
result
at the
on
Hippodrome that
the
we're working on
handicap.
there.
we'll call for a motion that we pay 3D.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Drava. Do I have a support?
I'll support.
Support by Hoag. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 6, pay request number 1 and final from 3D Concrete Construction in the amount of $7,300 for a Hippodrome Handicap Rail Project. Call for a motion that we pay 3D for the Hippodrome.
I'll make that motion also.
Motion made by Hadrava. Do I have a support?
Support.
Support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 7, pay request number 5 from Max Gray Construction, the amount of $42,662 for Eveleth City Auditorium renovation. Is this kind of the final on that one, Jackie?
No, there's still a final one out there.
Oh, okay.
There's always a final. There's
Well,
always
we're-
another final.
I don't mind paying them because now we're getting our use out of the place. Call for a motion that we pay Max Gray for the auditorium.
So moved.
Motion made by Coivinon. Do I have support?
I'll support it.
Support by Hadrava. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 8, resolution authorizing the issuance, sale, delivery of a capital note under Minnesota statute 412.301 as amended to finance the acquisition of a new dump truck. Do we have that truck yet? Jerry?
No, the chassis just got completed and got sent to the Christ deal for the box and all the other hardware.
Call for a motion that we accept the resolution.
So moved.
Motion made by Hoag. Do I have a support?
I'll support it.
Support by Hadrava. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 9, resolution accepting donation for the DARE program. Arrowhead DARE, $1,500.
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Lillis, support by Hadrava. Do we get this every year, Tim, from them?
No, we get some money, but there's a little bit more.
Well, that's what the number, kind of didn't jog my mind. It seemed like a little higher figure. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item J10, resolution accepting donation for the K-9 unit from James Newman.
It's a pretty easy one. I'll so move.
Motion made by Coivinon. Do I have support?
Support.
Support by Lillis. Any further discussion? I can't remember too many meetings where we didn't get a donation for that dog. You know, it's pretty interesting.
Dog makes money.
Yeah, it
Chief,
does.
things coming along pretty good with the new dog?
Councilor Lillis and the rest of the council, yes. Sergeant Elias is, he's getting towards the end of his training. Right now, he's been going down once a week. There's going to be a new class starting up here at the beginning of September. He is ahead of his training right now, so we're unsure if he even has to go this September, but he has quite the tracking down, and he's got a good nose, is my understanding, so it'll be, I think it'll work well in our community.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Renewal application for optional 2 AM license for Sue Gail Bronson, Sue's Penalty Box. Call for a motion that we approve this application.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Hadrava. Do you have support?
Support.
Support by Coivinon. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 12, request from Police Chief to sell forfeited vehicle. That's got collector's plates, ain't it? 79 Ford?
79.
It's like our old van.
I'll make that motion.
You call for a motion that you're giving the chief the okay to dump this thing?
Yeah, I would think so, yes.
Motion made by Hadrava. Do I have a support?
Support.
Support by Hoag. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And we have item number 13. Jerry, you want to kind of bring us up to date? What you're looking at here?
We're doing sanitary sewer and storm sewer in 500 and 600 blocks at Jackson Street. And as we're going up, our water main would be on the north side of Jackson. And we're pulling out the storm and the sanitary, and we're running into a lot of lead service lines crossing that area, going into the boulevard. And that is the city's responsibility. So this is the time that I'm recommending to change them out now with copper and new corporations and curb stop. And it'll cost a little bit more, but it will definitely be worth it in the long run, because we won't have to go back in there and change those areas. If we ever plan on changing a water main, everything will stay on the other side of the street.
Do we need any official action, or just when a change order comes through there, approve it?
I think it would just be a change order.
Okay, so we don't have to,
Well, I think Stephanie will put something on the record, because then I'll have to go finance that.
okay.
That will work for me.
So you want us to put that in the form of a motion, Jackie, or not?
Well, I think Stephanie will just put it in
Okay.
the dialogue.
And it may not possibly add up to a whole lot. It depends on how many we run into. We've changed out, I believe, 4 lead services, and also ran into 2 common service lines. So we'd like to change those out at the same time. And that's just running a piece of plastic out to the boulevard. So someday the homeowner, if they choose, can hook up on their own service.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, you know, those old streets you run into that.
Just FYI, there were 10 lines estimated in the bid, so it's not like, you know, you're gonna pay for a bunch of unknowns, but,
It still
it's
only
one of
makes
those
sense.
unknowns. You know, we estimated 10, and we'll see where the project comes out. But-
When it's dug up, we might as well just fix them,
Yeah, I agree.
you know?
And then
Yeah.
those joint sanitary sewer services, some of them we've already been able to, as, you know, as we dug back to the, behind the boulevard, we ran into the Y where they actually came together, so we were able to separate them in. So, but if we don't get to a point where we can separate those 2 services, at least we'll have the new line stubbed in for the occupants.
Imagine if and when we do Garfield Street, that's gonna be the same scenario there.
Yeah,
All the lead lines and everything, because hasn't been done
it's
for
gonna be a big one.
that upper Garfield for many years.
Yeah.
That takes in new business. Does anybody have any report from any commissions or council?
I just wanted to ask the chief about our four-wheeler signs and trails that we're helping with the city of Eveleth, trying to get through here with little four-wheelers. Chief, you got any?
Councilor Hadrava, I was on vacation last week, and I did get a few emails and discussions about the signs that have been put up around town on our designated ATV route. Several months ago, if you recall, we met, and I've been working with the trail boards along with St. Louis County, and the designated route they brought forward that I thought would be the best, for our community. I have gotten some questions. St. Louis County did go and put the posted signs up over the last week. I actually thought, I talked to Jackie, I thought we'd have to put those up, but it was a nice surprise that the county did come in. We may have to, I haven't had the time to get out to really go look at the route right now. I'm trying to catch up a little bit. But we may have to purchase some for our local streets indicating certain routes to get to our ATV route. Again, this is the ATVs, they're here, and I think this is going to be up and coming, bringing a lot of tourists into our town. So I just wanted to make sure they get to all of our businesses in the safest and quietest manner for our residents. It doesn't change anything for our residents who are living in town. We try to allow them to get from point A to point B. And that continues. We want them to get to the designated route to get in and out of town. So not a lot is going to change for our residents in town, but it's it's inviting for our visitors to get in town and get the different places they need. So over the next few weeks, I'll be looking, and if we have to order, I talked with Jackie. We're going to be making up some nice Eveleth signs with the designated route that we can give to the tourist board, 5 seasons, different businesses, in case they ask where and how this route is going.
Okay. My next question or answer is, I'd say, I'd like to commend our guys at the HIP. I hear we have a brand new rail and a handicap spot for some of our needier people to sit at out in front of the shop there, the concession stand, yeah, for lack of a better word. So I'm hoping the public comes down and uses that now and enjoys the Hippodrome. That's it, Mayor.
Anybody else in the council have anything to add? Well, from what I hear, the completion date of the highway going through Virginia is put off, I think, till September, because the county is probably going to have to start 101 probably by the end of the month. They were holding back opening that one was open. So we're going to have some additional congestion. We're trapped here. Construction on the highway, construction there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be another inconvenience because they're going from Grant Avenue all the way to number 7 on that.
Everywhere you turn, there's road construction, and you could just scream some days.
I mean, the same outfit who did the overlays in town here, so they're doing the highway now. I mean, they're just cones grow out of the pavement. I mean, it drives you crazy. But, do you have anything there?
I don't, I'm good.
Anyone from the audience have addressed the council? If not, they'll adjourn the meeting. Oh, yes, Mary.
Just one question. If he violates the order that you just asked, what happens?
Chief, that's...
Well, being that the council had voted that business down in that particular location in town, I'll talk with our city attorney, and if it comes to that, we'll make a plan.
Okay, thank you, Mary. If not, I'll adjourn the meeting.